The saxophone is one of the most widely used woodwind instruments in popular music. While the saxophone has been around since the 19th century, the instrument truly became prominent with the rise of the uniquely American music style of jazz. It is also widely used in marching bands. The saxophone was invented by Adolphe Sax in 1841 in Belgium. In 1846, he put a patent on his saxophone that came in 14 different types. Here are some fun facts about the saxophone. Have you ever noticed that the saxophone is a wildly popular instrument yet isn't found in orchestras? When Adolphe Sax invented the saxophone, he made all saxophone parts in his shop, while other instrument makers created interchangeable parts for all other kinds of instruments. Infuriated by being excluded from business by Adolphe's monopoly on manufacturing saxophone parts, these instrument makers used all of their influence to ensure that the saxophone was unwelcome in the orchestra. Until 1890, the saxophone had two separate octave keys. Blind saxophonist Rahsaan Roland Kirk was known to play multiple saxophones at the same time, essentially becoming a one-man saxophone section. A man named Kenny G once held a single, uninterrupted note on the saxophone for 45 minutes without stopping. The world's most expensive saxophone is estimated to be worth more than $60,000. This silica sax is made of glass plated with 2.82 ounces of gold and adorned with 10 2-carat diamonds, and it was handmade in 65 hours.
Hello!
Hi, everyone!
Welcome to the Andrew and Amy Show. I'm Andrew.
And I must be Amy.
Okay, so how should we start about this?
Well, you see, the xylophone was invented in Africa and Asia around like 500 AD, I think.
Oh, okay. So, Amy, you mentioned that the xylophone was used in Asia and Africa. Can you expand a little more?
Yes, that's correct. In Asia, they would have these Hindu festivals or weddings, and they would basically use some wood blocks and they would tie them together and they would play the first mallet percussion instruments.
So the xylophone, it looks different from
Yes,
this instrument,
this right here is a modern adaptation of the xylophone. It is called the bells because they make a ding sound when you hit them.
Oh, alright. So like this. No?
There we go.
Okay, you're gonna have to teach me
Yeah.
later. Stay tuned for series episode 2, how to play. So back to Africa.
In Africa, they would use these xylophones as tribal dance instruments.
Okay.
You know how they rain dance? Yeah, they would, accompany that with some of that, but except they used wood instead of this metal that we have here.
That's very interesting. So this is a later adaptation, probably from the Western world. So now we're talking much after 500 AD.
This is like present day.
Out of Asia and Africa.
Yeah. Do you know how the first instruments were made?
I know that the tuning bar has always been a difficult part of it, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
How
so?
So they used to arrange the tuning bars sort of on a lattice with tied bundles of straw that would hold them together and hold them upright. So if you can just take a look at that, it's sort of like the grid-like pattern that we see today. But before it was different without this metal, and it was a much more primitive process, right, Amy?
Yeah, that's correct. In the first ancient mallet percussion instruments, they were made out of willow wood.
Willow wood?
Willow wood.
Wow.
Yeah, and...
What is this made out of?
This is just oak trees.
It's oak wood?
Yeah, but the mallets, you can either use copper metal mallets on these bells, but on the xylophone wooden ones, you can use softer and rubber mallets.
Yeah, I know at school, Mrs. Kendreva has always told us not to use the bells mallets on the xylophone because they leave little marks.
They will break the instrument.
So be careful, young. Now, Amy, this looks like a piano to me, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The arrangement of the keys, all of that.
The flats and sharps, exactly the same.
So I guess if you didn't know how to play the bells or xylophone and you wanted to dabble with mallet percussion, you could always start with the piano if you got some background on the piano.
It helps a lot if you have a piano background because you can basically play it with your fingers, except with mallets.
Yeah, like like that.
Yeah, like that.
And
yeah.
even for prospective bells or xylophone players. So aren't these instruments used in bigger, troops
Yes,
of music?
they are used in orchestras. If you see the symphony, you'll see that in the back there is always a mallet percussion player because it accompanies the instruments beautifully.
Scales.
Scales.
Amy's gonna demonstrate a B-flat scale.
Okay, I'll have the other one, please. So
You're welcome.
Thank you. When you play the mallets of percussion, you must alternate right and left.
Yeah.
Yes, Candreva wants you to alternate because that is the quickest method.
That's how you're gonna go faster, yeah. You're never gonna get to the top of xylophone hierarchy unless you do left, right, left, right.
Yes.
Okay, Amy, stop showing off.
Your turn.
Do you know how to play Heart and Soul, Amy?
I don't know how to play Heart and Soul, Andrew.
I can teach you.
Teach me then.
Okay, grab some mallets.
Okay.
All right, you're ready. I will play this duet part. Over and over again. Well, you do something. Actually, no, you should do that, yeah.
Let me try and see if I can do that.
Yeah,
Really?
perfect. Okay, you get over there, Amy.
Teleportation, duh.
The power of music. Okay, let's play.
And that is the end of our web show. So I hope
Stay
you enjoyed.
tuned for season 2 of Mad to the Xylophone.